Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're tackling something that, let's be honest, somehow just gets harder the older we get: making friends. If you've ever felt like building human connections as an adult is kind of like trying to solve a giant puzzle without the picture on the box, you are definitely not alone. We're going to walk through a highly practical framework for how connection actually works.
I want you to really think about it for a second. When was the absolute last time you made a brand new friend? Despite being hyper-connected through our devices, we actually live in a pretty disconnected world. And with that disconnection comes a very real, and sometimes super awkward, anxiety around forging genuine bonds. But friendship isn't just magic or luck, right? It's a process, and it's one that we can absolutely master together.
To get there, we're going to follow the life cycle of a friendship. We'll start with first impressions, move into mastering the conversation, finding common ground, building a reliable foundation, expanding your social circle, and finally, the golden rule.
Okay, phase 1, the approach and first impressions. Start with a smile.
It's crazy, but every great connection literally begins before a single word is even spoken. Your starting toolkit here is entirely physical. A genuine smile, well, that signals instant warmth. Friendly eye contact shows you're actually present without, staring them down in a creepy way, obviously. And open body language, like simply uncrossing your arms, removes invisible physical barriers. Doing these things sets the stage and makes the other person feel completely safe and comfortable. Moving right along to phase 2, mastering the conversation. Be curious. So, once you actually start chatting, curiosity is your absolute secret engine. You want to ask open-ended questions. Give them a chance to tell a story rather than just hitting you with a simple yes or no. But here is the real magic trick: remembering personal details. Like if they mention their dog's name on Tuesday and you specifically ask about Buster on Friday, wow, that proves you are truly present, you're listening, and you're deeply invested in who they are. And that brings us to the golden ratio of dialogue, the 70-30 rule. Dominating the conversation is a massive trap, and honestly, so many well-meaning people fall right into it, especially when they're nervous. But to build a real bond, we should actually be aiming to listen 70% of the time and only talk 30% of the time. Now, pulling off this 70-30 rule requires a complete mindset shift. The trap is focusing on trying to impress the other person, right? Which almost always leads to talking way too much about yourself. The solution is focusing on understanding them. When your goal is true understanding, you naturally just listen more. You make them the star of the show. And ironically, that actually makes you incredibly likable to them. Phase 3, finding your common ground. Discover mutual goals. Okay, so the conversation is flowing, but now you need a reason to actually see each other again. Sure, you can discuss your hobbies, but more importantly, you want to actively place yourself in shared environments, whether that's joining a local sports league, maybe starting a book club, or even volunteering. Discovering mutual goals gives this budding friendship a real forward trajectory. It turns a random one-time chat into a reoccurring connection. Number 4, building a reliable foundation. Make others feel valued. This right here is the crucial shift from just being a friendly acquaintance to becoming a true friend. You gotta give sincere compliments, praise their character or their sense of humor, rather than just saying you like their outfit. Acknowledge their little wins and, actually show up when they're having a tough day. Supportive acknowledgement like this is literally the emotional glue of any long-term friendship. But here's the thing about that emotional glue. It requires consistency to cure. In practice, it's actually super simple. Keep your promises. Show up on time, because respecting their schedule proves you respect them. Send a quick follow-up text after you hang out, just to say, hey, had a great time. As the saying goes, trust is built in drops and lost in buckets. Consistency is what keeps that bucket full. Phase 5, expanding your social circle. Introduce friends. So as you start mastering these individual connections, your efforts are going to start to ripple outward. You keep bringing your authentic self to clubs and events, absolutely. But the ultimate network multiplier? That's introducing your friends to your other friends. You basically become a super connector, exponentially growing your own circle just by acting as a bridge and sharing the awesome people you've met along the way. Finally, phase 6, the golden rule: how you make them feel. We've covered a whole bunch of tactics in this explainer, from body language to community building, but honestly, it all funnels down to one lasting truth. People may forget what you said, but they will always remember how you made them feel. Listen, you can stumble over your words, you can ask the completely wrong question, you can even be 5 minutes late. But if your underlying intention is kind and you genuinely make that person feel heard and respected, that emotional impact will outlive any awkward moments, for sure.
Because at the end of the day, all of these structured strategies, the vast networks and those really deep, lifelong bonds, they all have the exact same genesis point. Friendship starts with one single conversation. You've got the step-by-step toolkit now. You know exactly how to approach, how to listen, and how to build that trust.
So I'm going to leave you with this final, pretty vital question. Who are you going to talk to today? Don't just sit around and wait for connection to magically happen to you. I really challenge you to immediately step out of your comfort zone, use this incredibly practical framework we just walked through, and just start that one conversation. The world is absolutely full of friends you just haven't met yet, so get out there and meet them. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and happy connecting.